Hi there, Dylan here from Backroads Touring, and thank you very much for the nomination, all of you wonderful travel partners out there across Australia and especially Queensland, which I call home. My experience in the industry is coming on 15 plus years now, and I've sort of, done the breadth of all the cool products. The only thing I'm missing really is air in my portfolio. So starting off with AAT King, selling domestic touring back in the day, after a fantastic time as a travel agent, so I really do understand the travel agent's point of view. After my time at AAT Kings, I had the opportunity to step across into FIT and work with the team at Creative Holidays, which was wonderful, but obviously it was part of the regression of the brand. And fortunately, the chance to fall in love with a lovely lady led me to try and move to Queensland, in which the opportunity to work with my CCS, which then evolved over that period there into P&O Cruises and Cunard. So I spent just over 3 years there working with the amazing team. Ryan Tybal was wonderful. Andrew Thwaites, a great partner, an ambassador for the brand that really helped me develop myself in a new territory with new people, and still trying to establish my brand as that key focal point there. Post that, an opportunity to sort of sidestep a little bit and do something completely different with hotel beds. So Hotel Beds was making their big storm into Australia. This was the wholesale side of it, so dealing very much in the API and connectivity part of the program. The education I learned from that was absolutely amazing, and whilst mind-numbing and huge, I now take a lot of that process into my everyday life, and I can actually talk a language that I didn't think I'd ever understand when it comes to, obviously connectivity with partners, whether it's cruise or now obviously with our brands too in Coach, now incorporating that into our day-to-day business, which has been wonderful. So Hotel was fantastic, but the passion for the ocean drew me back, and a chance to work with the wonderful team at NCL as their first team into Australia under the wonderful guidance of Nicole Constantin. Still a fantastic friend and mentor for me. I treasure the relationship that's been formed there. And then obviously a chance to step up and really move on to a more senior role with Backroads. So I've been now at Backroads coming on 4 years. Really back to buses, which I guess the full circle I've taken there, and really incorporating a lot of what I've learnt from my previous roles into how I direct myself within this role. I guess some of the strengths I take sort of segues straight across from that point there is that I have learnt how each individual style of wholesaler kind of works. And I look at ways to actually work with those brands, as well as not just having them as competitors, or you sell cruise, or you sell Coach, or you sell FIT. There's ways we can adapt our business these days, and it really takes that listening or that consultative kind of process when you're talking to your customers as to, what is your business? You tell me what your business is, and I'll try and work out how I can find ways to work with you effectively. Because at the end of the day, you have some amazing targets that you want to hit because you're going to pay your bills, and I've got some great KPIs that I've got to hit. So together, if we get this relationship right, we can both be extremely, extremely successful. I think one of the key things that's helped me develop myself into a more senior position is that I was involved in the Time Mentor program, and this was something I wanted to do all the way back at Creative Holidays, to be honest with you, and never really got off my butt to actually do it. So when approaching Nicole at NCL to take that opportunity to self-develop and build myself up, and I had to jump at it. And we now see, NCL's even sponsoring people into time, and I was the first person that they put through. So thank you very much, NCL, for that part of my life. But to Penny Spencer for establishing such an amazing program, and then B, David Walker from Snow and Ski, who was an amazing mentor. I asked him to help me develop and to be able to have my life pulled apart, your resume torn to shreds, and go why? Be accountable. You have to answer for all of this. Has really, really made me understand how to run my business personally a hell of a lot better, and has let me sit in much better positions commercially within my role. So now, looking after a huge remit, and that's just due to COVID, from a team of many to a team of very, very few. I'm excited to see where Backroads goes. There's some huge things we've got in the works. I'm keeping it real, but we'll continue on and get to the next step of this conversation. Chat more. working with travel agents is a passion play. I really enjoy it. And once again, as I said right at the start, I've been a travel agent. I know what they're going through. I've been through the pain points. I've also had the successes and the wins that they're all trying to achieve again, day in, day out. So when I approach a business, it's truly a partnership that we're working on here. It's not all about me and it's not all about you, but how we can collaboratively make this work together. So some examples I can give you, probably actually pertinent to the COVID period. I mean, Backroads isn't the largest brand in the world, but by far. We have the Globuses and the Trafalgars and the Insights and and the likes. And I need to keep my brand relevant. I need to keep my brand somewhat in the forefront of people's minds without being too in your face. And what I needed to do is really pull myself out of my comfort zones to understand what I can do individually to look after such a big region in that 2-year period to make us still relevant in the travel agents' minds. And one of the greatest things I think I came up with was a podcast series. So totally non-invasive. There was no sales message attached to my podcast at all. But what I called it was Tourism Body Tuesday, and it was a chance for me to connect with the tourism bodies of Australia, who obviously look after all the tourism regions of the world that we travel to talk about the regions. And obviously the connectivity that Backroads has within its, experiencing the roads that's travelled and travelling on the backroads of destinations allowed them to really exploit some of the regions and destinations that they honour versus just those capital cities that, most of our customers understood. So through that, we actually end up having a multi-part series coming through where we had some collaborators like Tourism Ireland and Tourism Italy doing 2, 3 or 4 catch-ups to keep their brand as relevant as they can be too. And there's some amazing things that each of those regions did through that period to keep their areas alive too, because obviously it's a scary time for anyone to want to go and travel, but you still want to make sure you can do all you can to keep your region relevant. So that was absolutely amazing. I then ended up recording them as well, so not so much just on the podcast, which was on Apple and Spotify, but also actually recorded the actual presentation as well. So this gave me another platform that if someone wanted to view a presentation on, I would say Italy, Ireland, Austria, Britain, Scotland, you name it. We spoke to a wide range of tourism bodies there. We could present it back to you. It didn't have to be live. You could go back and listen to the podcast later. You could do it when you're driving home and you're away from your phone and your emails, because obviously at that time you're still dealing with a lot of refunds and a lot of unhappy customers. So this is something new I adapted into. I also then took the opportunity to YouTube train, which I guess is the Gen Z way of becoming savvy in the world. So I've taught myself how to create a character. So at the start of this presentation, you'll have seen that I've used a faux version of myself to introduce this NTIA nomination. So that was a cool way of doing it. This was a different way. I had to be different. Webinars are kind of dead. Zooms are kind of everyone's over it. So I needed that one little thing that was a little bit different to what everyone else was doing to be relevant, to be new, to be just what the hell is that? I need to look at that and keep it short and sharp. And again, I guess one last thing. Coming into modern days, we know we don't get the time with the agents we used to. Those 30-minute coffees and relaxing and talking about your kids and your dogs just really doesn't exist anymore. They are flat out positively, because it's business back in the works, but it's hard for them to then connect and get that chance to learn. So from that, using some of my online skills, they've created my little 1-minute sales call. So this goes out to everyone and goes out across to our social networks every Monday. This is a chance for us to just one message, one quick, sharp message, but selling us and showing us that we're still here, we're still alive, allowing for comments, allowing for them to dictate which way we take this conversation, just so they're getting the most out of it. So realistically, I've loved this break. It's been so hard. I've lost so many friends in this industry, but all I've been able to do is focus on me, focus on my brand and how I can do best for my brand Backroads Touring to still be the #1 coach touring supplier for my agents out there. How do we bring people back in the industry? And this is extremely difficult. we're an industry which has all been about sort of, I guess, the brightness of future, or that BOF, and it's been smacked. Like it's been hit on the head pretty hard. We've had governments really playing against us. We weren't relevant. We've seen the capitulation of thousands of travel agencies, whether they be home-based or bricks and mortar. It doesn't matter. We've seen the demise of the industry so heavily over this period. And I think we're probably the slowest industry to rebound back out into the COVID, which is now causing the pain point that all the agency partners are feeling as we speak. To bring it back, it's a challenge, man. Like, where is the wins, right? I was to say, to become a travel agent today, and you're going to have to do 10 hours a day non-stop just to make your customers happy. It's not exciting. To come in fresh without a database, it's going to be a challenge. If you just come out of college, it's going to be extremely hard. I think we need to really revitalise the industry. We need some more support. We need potentially some additional training of opportunities for experienced mid-level and introductory agents to take a part of, to sort of help build them up. Because if you can show there's more in it for me as I move through this industry, then it's opportunistic. I can cert 3, I can cert 4, I can certificate, whatever it might be, to help establish my platform or my profile. We have some amazing things like, the Clear Cruise Ambassador kind of thing, where you can skill set yourself up with all the cruise brands, which is a great educational piece there, and some amazing wins out there too. But we don't have it for all parts of the industry, so if we could sort of encapsulate that as a sort of a robust learning platform that people can do on the side, to make sure that they are recognised for this sector, for air, for coach, for cruise, whatever it might be, for luxury. The pay would be an interesting one. We're probably the only industry that hasn't really adjusted 100% with modern industries, and you could then take that into okay, you get paid a commission, so we don't have to sort of have your base as high as possibly other industries take into account. But that could be a fear factor again for an agent. If you don't know what you're doing and you're coming on, that stress, A, it's not going to make you want to push as hard as you possibly could, and then B, if you're on a low level base and needing that commission, that stress can obviously then be a push point out of the industry. So realistically, my thoughts on what could be the rebuild for the industry is that ongoing training development. So whether it comes from the guys doing the tourism hospitality courses at university or TAFE, likewise, we know Flight Centre does it with their Cert 3, but to have that program, I know Hello was about to bring in their own training program too, but keep those programs rolling out to have, Clear's got theirs, does Cato bring out one as well, does Virtuoso bring out one, are there ways we can really round out that education process so that, next to your name, you can say you're an expert, you can say you're skilled at it across a breadth of product versus just having to sort of self-promote and hope. I think the growth of the home agencies is going to be ever growing through this next sort of phase. So again, these are the ways that these guys are going to learn more. They don't have the connectivity with as many partners other than their friend group potentially and their head office events once a quarter or maybe once or twice a year to help grow their own personal businesses too. So if we can find ways we can really expand on the learning and show there's some great wins that you can take out of it, it means, as you move up through the industry, you're going to have more confidence in what you're doing, your customers are going to have more faith and belief, and then the ability to convert and sell will be a lot easier because you're going to have complete understanding of all the product remit that is at your disposal. Just my ideas, I'm sure there's thousands out there, but guys, learning is key, whether it be self-motivated, consortia-driven, you name it, there's going to be ways that we can sort of keep this as a thriving industry. And we'll get back to it. We'll get back to the educationals, the familiars, the fun stuff that we know all love, and all the events and conferences that we all like to have a ball at. So in the meantime, what can we do together to help this out? Not all the companies, from my side, we don't have all the financials to create our own established programs. So to work with those unified groups, as I said, Clear, Cato, etc. To create these, I think would be wondrous for the industry and give the agents an opportunity to keep themselves elevated in these ever-changing times. Why me? Why Dylan Hearn to be an NTIA finalist? I mean, I love this award. I've been nominated many times. I try and do all I can for my agents and my groups and whoever sits under my remit, and also my team. I think part being that sort of help mentor to my team is catalyst as well. So I think I do it differently. I think I have a different mindset to many. I am a hell of a lot of fun. I understand your business. I'm a listener. I'm an absolute listener. I know there's no one way that works perfectly for everyone, and I love the project that comes from understanding your businesses. If there's a way that I can see an opportunity to be your number one, to be your number two, to exploit that you're a luxury, to exploit that you are a cruise expert, whatever it might be, that then shows that we as partners can grow together. That's it. Other than that and coffee, I'm here for my agents. I'm here to be a part of their business. I'm here to help them grow, because without them, I'm nothing. And if they grow, I grow, and we both reap the benefits from that. So overall, I love what I do. I'm well connected throughout the industry. I'm known around Australia. I've worked on multi-levels. I have an empathy for various styles of agencies and different styles of selling products. I understand the back ends and the front ends of the business. So commercially, I'm tuned into what's in it for me, what's in it for you. I rationalize incentives based on asking the question. I don't really want to come out with just, here's a price for doing nothing. Like, I need to know what you want out of it to then drive your business. And from listening to that, I can adapt and grow. Share with my team, taking advice. I think key to that is, I've maintained that belief of having a mentor, whether it be Dave Walker from my time program, or Dave Gendel, who I've had on for many years, or Nicole Costanton, who still sits within me. Those guys are still my lifeline as to asking the stupid questions, and how abouts and whys and hows, and what do you think about? And I think from having that guidance continually shared back to me and being told that some things are stupid, I think we all need that too, has allowed me to then really adapt what I do on a day-to-day basis to then really commit a really strong portion of my time to building my agencies up. Like being there for my agents, to answer their emails in a timely fashion, to answer their calls in a timely fashion. I hate things going to message bank, but I hate things going overnight. I'm contacting you same day, guys, all right? Keep it simple, silly. I want to know how we can work together, whether it be brochures, events, expos, consumer events. I love it. I love the regional guys. I love heading out bush and seeing all of you crazy critters, and I love being in the cities as well. This industry is amazing. I love being a part of it. I can't see myself leaving it at all. And I was obviously fortunate enough to be able to survive the many drops that happened throughout the COVID periods, which I think then talks to myself again that I'm a strong candidate for my business. I've been strong for them since I started. Obviously with the cruise remit, to come back onto something coach, had to offer something a little bit different, had to self-learn, self-educate, and then self-promote my personal brand in a different way. So to all the agents that supported me in this nomination, I do thank you once again. I'm honoured that I've been nominated multiple times for this particular thing, and I think this would be a fantastic year to hit the final five, to be able to present to you guys face to face and get to meet all of you in person. But thank you for listening to me. I hope you're having one over time, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in Sydney. Cheers.